Alright guys, it's been quite the time. I can give you a little bit of a story, or I can just tell you exactly why it's been a minute. Easiest reason, went to work, as people do, they have jobs. My job was work weekends, morning to night. Open close for the whole little grocery store. It was for Big Lots, as you guys know, Big Lots shut down. Pretty nationwide, so then was unemployed, still kinda am, but moving on in life. And with moving on in life, and while being at Big Lots, I also picked up another car. But before we get to the other car, we're still going to talk about this car. So, I don't know what you guys get to see, but put some of those in. Real cheap from Amazon. It was pretty easy. Gave me a good little preview. This is still the same. Locals, infamous. Although they're pretty much just body kits now. That's a bunch of stuff for the car. Who cares? But this car doesn't run the best because I barely, well, maybe it's been a few months now, but learned kind of recently, needs an air intake temperature sensor, IAT. It's not a hard thing to do. It's just, about $100 for the Link ECUs, one I need, and then $30 for the bung, so, like $130 roughly. Not too bad. But while I've been off camera, it also got a nice little preview. Got some of these. Little Part Shop Max brakes. Got myself some little Nismo nuts. There's the boys going by. And it's been a minute. I'm not gonna pretend. This car really doesn't go anywhere because I bought myself some stuff. So I'm gonna give you a little tiny preview. It's not cool, but there's that. Little Duder is a very small little Duder. It's a 110 with a Honda Navi. Nothing crazy with that. This has been the new toy. And she's pretty fun. She has problems as well. Every car does. But let's get into it. This one, as you can see, way different walk of life. A little bit more miles. Has 177. This is literally the factory one, just with all the crap scraped off. Like, literally, get up in here with one of these dudes and go like this for hours upon hours upon hours to get all of that type of stuff off. As you can see, it will take a lifetime, but I feel like the primer coat, whatever it's really called, just looks better than this terrible Nissan soft touch. And the parts that are gray that you see is pretty much what's left, because this went all the way down to the raw plastic. So this is like primer, this is no primer. One layer scraped past this layer. So if you do it nicely, you can kind of like save it for a while. But again, like you see, you just kind of touch it and it just messes up. That soft touch junk. These are, required is the grease, moving the gears, nothing too crazy, just to, record file. This is gonna run the Serial 9. shift knob, because if you know that Taos Summit, he kind of put me onto them, and they are quite nice no matter what temperature of the day it is. You're not too burned. But this car has been giving me nothing but problems when it comes down to this. It's not all my leak, okay? It rained recently, but I do have a leak out of this, which no, this is not factory, but this is the somewhat factory. It is the differential vent tube. The diff is a Tomei 2-way with, yes, the absolute dog shit Z1 little cover. And as you can tell, either my thing's already broken, those little fins on the side, on this side, or it just came like shit. I can't really tell you, because I've only driven it maybe 100 miles with the diff input in. I did all of that myself. It took forever. I had to do a lot of just trial and error, I think, just to get the diff out. Because my car, lovely car, not really, was quite painful. I'm gonna get in and sit down. So, as I was saying, painful. It was not the easiest experience. So, first things first, take it to my good friend. He's the tall one. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you may remember him, may not. Either way, he's the welder. He stripped the one exclusive nut to the diff. All the rest are bolts that bolted to the subframe. The one nut goes through the subframe where the little bushing is. Well, with that being stripped, it took me over a year to get it unstripped, so to say. First thing first was, oh, let's just try a socket. You know, you hammer it on, you know, the little clover ones. Couldn't get it to work. Let me buy a deep socket. Maybe that's the problem. Couldn't get that to work. Let me try to buy, you know, thousands of tools. Thousands. You probably name it, I've tried it. Even the infamous Grip Edge wasted big dollars to get their little drilling stud extractor. Because, you know, they said even when the nut's good, sometimes the whole stud comes off. So I was like, alright, I'll try that. That also didn't work. But eventually, like I said, quite the ordeal. A good year I spent dealing with that, because this car was a open diff. That was the whole point of going to the welder. But since he stripped it, it now is a 2-way, which is great. I honestly think it's the way better move. Except now that I have a little bit of leak issue out of that vent tube I just showed you guys. And it's driving me crazy, because the internet just simply says, get a better vent tube, get a longer vent tube. Well, I extended it, I got a new breather for it, and it's still leaking. So the next solution is to take off the old hose, because I just kind of cut in the middle of it, or 2/3 of it, whatever, cover I could reach. And with that, I just barely did that a few days ago. Went driving maybe 2 days ago. Should have brought you guys, but had to buy a new battery so this could actually work. Because doing everything on the cell phone, it's where I edit. I don't want to film with it if I don't have to. And this is a nicer setup, holding a real camera, or a GoPro really, but all the same. Back to what it was at. The diff leaks, drives me nuts. Went out to the mountains. We have a nice little section for the 138 Palmdale area. And going up to Lake Arrowhead, I picked up a misfire. Cleared itself by the time we get to the little town. And then, so thought no big deal. Maybe it was goofy elevation, you know, mountain climbing. First time for the car, really. But, after I went driving with this new leak, or really the fourth time driving with the leak, because first time I never connected the tube to the vent, just let it vent thinking only air's coming out. Well, that was definitely wrong. So then I added the tube and thought it was better. It wasn't fully better. Then I went through the mountain driving. It leaked there, but not nearly as bad. But it went from leaking on the passenger side where the vent would be to then pouring into the tow bucket or spring bucket for the car. So that's where I came to the conclusion to extend the hose, add a new one-way valve thing, because the factory subframe one is really hard to access. So really you would have to lower the subframe to have any type of access, and even with it lowered it was quite hard because I have a spare in the garage and it was hard to get it off. With it fully removed out of the car, able to carry the subframe around 180, flip it upside down, whatever you need to do, still tough. So took the hose route, and with that I may have done myself in, because now I have to take that cut hose off and see if I can see daylight through it like the new hose I attached to the other end. Because again, the internet keeps saying that's the solution, is a new hose and a better valve. It doesn't seem to be missing now, but it was just on my last little drive. Well, the valve's brand new. It definitely works. Tried it out before I installed it, you know, before you put oil into it. Try it clean. So, yeah. And then the car that I'm in, it's fairly okay. Like, she will start, runs, found just fine, no miss. It's just when I drive it really hard, then it will misfire. And within maybe 2 miles of driving, it clears itself fully back up and no longer misses. But pending code say cylinder 1, so should be easy, should just be normal maintenance. We'll cover that when I do the maintenance, but that should fix it. I don't really remember doing any type of spark plug since I bought the car, but I did everything under the sun when I bought this thing. I bought it in San Diego from a little kid, you know, maybe, might have been 18, maybe younger, maybe a couple years older, I don't know, but quite young, either way. Drive it onto the trailer, because, you know, San Diego's a couple hour drive, not like ideal, not terrible, but why do it when you can use a truck and trailer and just be way more relaxing than trying to think if the car's going to be good far away from the house. So by the time we drive it onto the trailer, it's fine. We drive it off the trailer in San Diego because a little mishap. Trailer wasn't pinned to the truck, went into the tailgate, but no dent, tailgate just came off the truck. Wish I filmed, didn't think to film. Should have filmed because it was absolutely crazy. But irregardless, truck's fine, trailer's fine, car's fine. This is a year later, maybe 2 years now. It's been, and so I get it back onto the trailer. You know, it's all strapped down. It's good. Like, bring it home. Start it to get off the trailer. Doesn't start. Refuses to start. Has no try at all. And it's not because the battery's dead. Couldn't really tell you what exactly it was, because after that I get it to fire to life, get it into my driveway, take it all apart. You know, I gotta do the gallery gaskets, gotta do, you know, radiator, just, you know, just the simple stuff you're gonna do for a somewhat track car. It's definitely, you know, a D car, but street drift and track, you know, like, this will be street driven. Took it to work, take it to, you know, the groceries, you know, whatever one needs. So, still fairly needs to just work. Well, while doing that, getting all that, it then, again, really wouldn't start, so I bought every fucking thing under the books. New starter, new neutral switch, new everything. You know, take it to a shop because it still isn't working, and they just tell me some dumb wire. I won't say which one, but, you know, maybe it wasn't grounded right, because you can kind of jump the starter, and it kind of worked. Well, it did work. But irregardless, figured that out. Then I went on to a never-ending overheating saga for, you know, turn the car on, take a quick little turnaround, flip a bitch, whatever, overheats, you know, super quick. So buy the GK Tech Swirl Pot, get that installed, fix my overheating, truly fixed it. Now I get engines too cold, but I'd rather have my engine too cold than too hot. Heat kills engines, so with it being too cold, you know, drive it nice or whatever you gotta do to get some heat back into your car. Not too bad, not too hard to figure out. And the little, like I said, not very exciting 110, that's so I can get my license for that, because might as well have a motorcycle license, so when you go traveling or really anything as you get older, it's nicer to have more options. And really, that was just in case this D car breaks, you know. It is a VQ, and it is the worst VQ, the Rev Up. But it also has the intake spacer, plenum spacer guy, you know. Gotta make as much little squeeze out her as you can without doing too much. I have a little steering wheel for the car, but I don't have the hub or the quick release, so that's not going on anytime soon. But if it were to, I got the fire gloves ready. Well, GK Tech track gloves, really. As you can see, I already showed you, I'm in like a real bucket. This works. Yeah. Got myself some quick access gloves for track use. But this is pretty much gonna be the end of the video, because there's not much happening other than me just telling you guys hello. It's been a minute, I know, and I'm trying to make it better. Not gonna promise any type of schedule, more so just know I'm trying to keep my weekends open so I can maybe show what happens on the weekends. If something were to happen on the weekends. My neighbor friend, he moved away, but it's good. He's just in a following town, not too far. He actually moved further away and then moved back closer, so it's a lot better. And he used to have the 370 Nismo. He totaled that, went to a Honda CRV, you know, give himself some reimbursement, punishment, whatever you want to call it, teach you how to drive, lessons, to where now he's in a second gen Aristo. So pretty much what the neighbor has right there, but Japanese versus Lexus American. Apart from that, virtually the same. But just at the new year, as it cusped, you know, we're now in February, so it's not very new anymore. But in January, he bought himself a G37. He just couldn't deny the VQ Love. So he will also have a somewhat SD car like me as well. I don't think he'll ever get to this level this year, maybe next year if I come back here. And the dirt on the dash is from spectating. It was absolutely gnarly. the little Apple Valley Thrash Day. So eventually this car will see dirt itself for reals at the track. I just have to fix the diff leak and then come up with a Sunday to make it, because that's when G37 boy can go as well. He only has Sunday and Mondays off. So that's really my weekend I'm talking about for fun days. It's the first 2 days of the week. Because it starts Sunday, if you never knew. That was kind of the name of the end. The end Saturday, starts Sunday, both ends, beginning and end. But yeah, figured this is pretty good. Somewhat of an update. I have my hands covered in two different project cars. And one runs like dog. And one has a leak to where I can't fully enjoy it while being so close to being so ready to enjoy it, because the diff is now doing 2-wheel, 11s, not 1s or 21s. Stupid new name for 11s, because everybody's heard of 21, so why can't we have a 1? I don't know, not my thing, just something I heard, kind of funny. But see you guys on a future video. Hope you guys enjoy whatever update this can bring to you. It is something more than nothing. I'm just more so still kind of checking out the car for everything it offers, because I don't really do much in here other than drive and complain that my car doesn't work as good as one of my friends or whatever it may be. It's making me lame. And the radio, I can't get put in till the dual caliper is put in. That's not going to put in until the diff is fixed. Once the diff is fully fixed, then I can take on the struggles of getting the rear knuckle taken off, to then bring the dual caliper bracket to the welder so we can weld it together to the rear knuckle, because he's not uninstalling things off the car. He's not allowed. Stripping the one nut, never again. I was with help, and he just 12-point lover. Can I say any less? But again, thanks for the updates, or thanks for watching. That's what I got for you guys. The next time I do something to somewhat fix the diff or to see, I'll bring the camera along, and maybe I'll make somebody come out and watch me do some little SD shit. But my little hit zone is very small. Gotta be quite careful with it, because it's always by spots that you shouldn't be at. And I always live in an area that forever grows more and more Karens and Kens. Even when I was a kid, they would get me for touching rocks. Just some straight nonsense. So can't do much other than live life. But I'll let you guys go. Thanks for the watch. And let's hope this diff shit works good so I can really go have fun at the track. Because I live by some tracks. I can get to maybe 4 or 5 pretty easily. Chuckwalla, not too bad. Not too great. Willow Springs, a little better. Adams, slightly better. ABS, best. For distance-wise, it's super close. It's my most local track. But then, again, we all have the I'm in Mexico track. And that's what I was just talking about. Gotta be careful with the Karens and Kens. But, again, enjoy. Hope this went well for you. Went fairly well for me. Just sitting in the car at the end of the day before the sun goes down. Last hour. So, what they call golden hour, whatnot, but that was just when the battery was charged. So, again, thanks for watching. enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try to put this up in the next day or two. It's Wednesday. So, I'm trying to give you guys like a realm of reality. February 11th. But, yeah. Not having too many plans for the car other than fix the leak. Put on the simple little things I already have for it. Which, again, nothing too insane, but have a little Z1 undershroud, GK Tech baby angle kit, dual calipers, you know, just simple. That was kind of why the orange car got the new PBM brakes, because that was the cheapest way to get brakes for this car, which is crazy. Just to buy a big brake kit for the other car, but it came with brakes, brake pads, you know, the full enchilada. So, not too bad. Catch you later. Have a good one.